Ladies and gentlemen, support for this podcast is brought to you by Market Squawk, powered by livesquawk.co.uk. For all of your on-demand, low-latency data needs, any asset class, any product, anything, commodities, futures, oil, energy, whatever, you name it. Cryptos, I think they're having a little dabble in. Support for this podcast is also brought to you by our boys, xbrain.co.uk, for all of your Viking-based supplementation, brain pills, whey protein, hemp protein, xbrain.co.uk. Promo code Fighting Words saves 30% on checkout. Thank you to all of the patrons, all 8 of them. Shout out. We are joined by the Disney Drago himself, our man, big man, Steve Robinson, and legend, sporting icon, someone that we've watched on YouTube for quite a long time, and the voice is unbelievably familiar. Now there's a face to it, but we might have to blur it out, no, to like obscure.
Pixelate, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Let's start with you, big man. Congratulations on coming back with a big win. Decent.
Thank you.
Can I ask why they was insistent on you fighting that geezer? Because he didn't really want much to do with it, did he?
It was a bit of a fuck up, to be honest. From the start, it was like you either fight him or you don't fight. That was a week before the fight, and then
right
going into the fight, it was stipulated as a 6th round on the British Boxing Board website, on BoxRec. In the weigh-in, it was down as a 6th round, and then on the day of the fight, I was told, I get a phone call off my manager, Stephen. I'm working on something, but Bill Williams is only wanting to fight a 4-rounder.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm not fighting a 4-rounder. I've trained for a 6. I've sparred for a 6. My mindset's ready for a 6. I'm not fighting a 4-rounder. I don't want to take a step back. And by the time Pillars and Post had passed between his manager and Sky and Wasserman and my manager, and it went back and forwards. I get a phone call at about 1 p.m. on fight day and was told it's either a 4-rounder or you don't fight. And I had to make the decision of I either bite my pride and say, fuck you, I'm away, I'm not fighting, or I just accept the 4-rounder and just say, whatever. And it was one of those where I had to go in there, and I knew over 4 rounds that he was going to do his best to get us out there, and I knew he wasn't going to get that done. And anybody who's sitting saying, "Oh, it was a close fight," haven't got a clue about boxing. The kid landed about 4 jabs, and he done what he needed to do. And fair play to Phil, he's a businessman, and he knew had it have gone 6 rounds, he would have been stopped. He was gassing in the 4th, and I could have maybe stopped him in the 4th. And he knows that he's got to fight in 2 weeks' time for another 4 or 5 grand, whatever he gets. So at the end of the day, he's a businessman. He's got a roof to put over his head. He's got a family to feed for. And fair play to the bloke for not accepting the 6 on the day and changing it and coming out to get the win, because as I say, he's got a family to fend for, and he knows his worth, and I know my worth, and we're both went in there to get the win, and fair play to them for coming to try and get that win.
How did the Channel 5 Wasserman come about? Because obviously you're a boxer, Sky fighter.
So Sky contacted me and they said, we've got 2 options for you. You either come down to Bournemouth and box in Bournemouth, or Wasserman have got a show in Newcastle in your backyard. What do you want? And for me, it was a no-brainer. It was boxing at the Virtue Arena in Newcastle in front of my home crowd, or travelling down to Bournemouth, going down a week before and having the preparation of the public workout, the weigh, and taking your food down, the taking your supplements down. And when there's an offer there to fight 2 miles away from my house,
why not?
Or fight, 8 hours away from my house, it was sort of. And obviously Sky and Wasserman work together anyway. We've seen it with Eubank. Eubank's obviously a Wasserman fighter, and I think with Nissi and Cal, they work with anybody. The two great blokes, and I think they've got the fingers and pies with Propelman. They've got Matchroom, DAZN, and top rank and with Sky, and it's good to be that way because they've got avenues everywhere. They've got some big names. They've got they've got Filip Hrgovic. They've got obviously Eubank. They've got some big names under their management team. So fair play to them.
I also quite like the Channel 5 thing. Like from a fan's perspective, I thought it was a bit like they could have they've been doing it on Friday nights. I would have thought that would have been wicked on Friday night instead of on the Saturday, because now we're chopping it irrelevant if like one of them's on Friday, one of them's on Saturday, whatever, instead of having to flick between the two cards, you know what I mean? But it's a good card. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Isn't it bullshit though that Channel 5 only showed like the last couple of fights?
Yeah.
We should maybe show like the entire card or do at least from 7 o'clock or...
Yeah, that makes no sense to me either. Like, because you're on the YouTube watching like the prelims and the undercard all the way through, and then there's like this massive gap. It's like an hour, and then it pops up at 10 o'clock on Channel 5. They did it with Linus as well and Denzel. It was just a liberty. And like
the whole Channel 5 thing as well. I think because the show because they had to turn the heating on instead of aircon, so the show was 45 minutes behind while the trying to cool the studio down, so everything was
Is that what it was?
Back. I mean, it was honestly like boxing in a sauna. It was absolutely like I wouldn't have been bothered if Phil Williams just stripped off naked and were just box naked. I would have been more than happy to box with our cocks out. It was that hot. Like, I wouldn't have been bothered about the crowd. Channel 5, Phil Williams looking at it. It was uncomfortable to box.
Yeah.
Pat McCormick, who's obviously an Olympian, was meant to be on Channel 5.
Yeah.
He didn't get on till 12:15 at night. Ben Davis was human. Like, human, because obviously he's lost his Channel 5 spot. He's not boxing at 12:15 at night. It was just... I mean, it was nothing to do with Channel 5 or Wasserman. It was to do with the venue and turning the fucking heating on instead of the aircon, and it just being one big sort of mess up from them. Because I mean, it as I say, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best brand from the venue. Wasserman couldn't have done any more for us and for the boxers and for the people involved. They were absolutely fantastic.
Do you feel a lot better now? Because last time we spoke on here, obviously it was right after the Shane fight. You had a load of ag, you had a load of abuse, and like, you know, people know who know what was going on there. It's not for everyone to know that. That's totally fine. But like, you were still getting a load of shit, and it was uncalled for. It was unnecessary. You know, let's not forget, you're still a 6'7" man. They'd never say it to you to your face. I would assume that now at least it's chilled out a little bit, no?
Do you know what it is? Funny enough, I've just had this conversation. You see all these people who sit and spout shit on social media and who sit and belittle people and stuff. For me, I don't want to sit and say to them and say, listen, you little prick, come down the gym and I'll fight you. What I want to do is message them and say, listen, mate, are you all right? Like, is there something wrong with you? Because for me, I think the average person wakes up at night, wakes up at 7 o'clock, jumps in the shower, goes to work, comes back from work, gets 4 cans out of the fridge, has a pizza in the oven, sits on the internet and just belittles people. That's what these people do, because they're not happy at home. They're insecure about things in life. They don't like themselves. They don't like their own life. And what better way than to jump on somebody else and put them down? And when they write comment on social media, on YouTube, whether it be on a singer, whether it be on a boxer, whether it be on, a TikToker, a blogger, anybody who they sit and belittle. Now, if they get a like, or they get somebody who takes into their comment and starts conversating with them, that to them, that's a sense of satisfaction that, oh, wow, somebody else thinks the same. Somebody else wants to talk to me. I found an internet friend where we can talk together and belittle this person. Now, if they get 3 or 4 comments like that, they'll then go on to the next thread and belittle the next person. 1 minute they could be belittling me because they know everything about boxing. The next minute they're on Sky Sports, Instagram page belittling Cristiano Ronaldo for missing a penalty. The next thing you know, they're on someone, you know, the BBC page for belittling somebody for failing in the long jump. These people are just happy to belittle anybody and put anybody down because they're insecure and they're self-conscious about themselves and their own life. And I want to reach out to these people and say, listen, mate, I'm all right. Are you, like, is there something wrong with you, or do you need to talk? Because, as I've said, it's I'll never get into what happened with me before the Shane Gill fight ever. That'll never be talked about. You know, no matter where I get to, I couldn't have given a fuck about that zero anyway. I've overachieved in boxing, just being where I am now. I've overachieved in life, just being sitting, talking to people on podcasts and getting asked for my autograph, and going to the local park and getting asked for a photo. That's me overachieved in life for me. If I can satisfy one little kid or make one little kid join a gym or make his day, or then that's unbelievable for me. But as I say, these people who are haters and these people who put people down, and I'm sure you get it, I'm sure Ian gets it, and I'm sure Martin gets it, Sporting Icon, sorry, that's all his name.
Listen, first of all, I don't get it because
that's because you've got a hard as fuck mate, and Ian.
Well, to be fair, I know we're not going to belittle people, but we do have a little bit of a surprise for you, Big Steve, that Ian's been practicing his Geordie accent. Because you know the geezer's a star of screen, like, you know what I mean? He's in some big films. I've been doing a lot of dialect coaching with him at the minute. Been showing him a lot of Jimmy Now and some Geordie Shore. He's been practicing, the boy.
Have I? Fuck. Jesus.
That's what you need, isn't it, after not eating for 2 days?
Yeah.
What you need to do, Ian, is you need to go away and watch Purely Belter.
Just try and say that.
Yeah.
Like with you, like, you know, I know you quite well now, right? You look like 100% you potentially back in the day would have been wearing a Hugo Boss uniform. Just saying, you got that facial structure. That's my opinion. You're not saying that, and I want to be very clear about that. But you are a lovely, lovely bloke. You're a funny bloke, and you're like a mental health first aider. There's been a few times where you've messaged me to see if I'm all right. You know what I mean? Like, it means a lot. And like, for people to start attacking you I said to you before, we had people attacking you about us putting stories about you on out. Like, and for me, like, my immediate response is I'll fight you for charity. That's it, you know. And then obviously Ian will just cut him or ninja him or whatever he does. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand it. And your approach with that one, which is you all right, is probably the best one. I should do that, but Ian doesn't have access to the account anymore, so he doesn't get involved.
Also, too, I wish I screenshot this, but there was one, I can't remember who the fucking fighter was, but someone was spouting some madness, and then there are a bunch of comments, and they'd spelt the fighter's name wrong, and all the comments spelled it the same. I'm like, you've literally made other accounts to agree with yourself on this shit just to try and get, and it's like, it's a mental problem, man. Like, if you have the time to be talking that shit, you're not doing anything with your like I love your approach, and that's way nicer than I could be about. Like, indirectly, anyone talk shit, we're like, they get the venom, fuck them. Because if you want to spend that time, invest it in doing something fucking good, and then you won't have the time to talk this shit. Do you know what I mean? So
that's the thing. They invest the time in putting other people down instead of investing in themselves to put themselves up to there, because they'll never ever know what it's like to step on a football field, to step in a boxing ring, just to step into a gym. You know, they're happy just cruising in life. They're happy just to sit in first gear and get through life and just, you know, do everything that by means that they have to do. You know, they never want to overachieve. They never want to achieve everything. And as I say, because they're down, listen, I could sit there and start messaging people back and say, listen, you fucking mug, come down the gym and I'll fight you. What? Are they going to come down the gym? No.
The thing is, you can't do that at 6'7". Sonny Edwards can do that and get away with it because it's banter, because he just talks all of the shit and he's 5'3". Like, he can get away with it and he'll do it with anyone. You can't do that because you're immediately going to be branded a bully. And it's...
No, I'll just hit them with my cock, or I'll get bored to fight them. That's the thing, you know. I respond to somebody and I'm the bully, I'm the bad person. All these people talking shit about me aren't bad people, because I should accept that, you know. And I've just said to Sporting Icons that I've just said.
You might as well say Martin. You said
Martin, sorry. I've just said to Martin there. I've just said, like, for me, the whole going back to the mental health thing. Paddy, I don't follow UFC one little bit, but I got sent it 5 or 6 times, and Paddy Pimblton couldn't have said it any better. I'd much rather have 10 of my pals crying on my shoulder than visit one of the funerals. And that's the reality, because of the cost of living, because of the people in power at the minute, because of oil, because of Russia and Ukraine, because of we're not knowing what's around the corner, the stress of living day by day. And then we're hearing that fuel's going to go up more in October, and energy's going to go up more in October. Then we're seeing things that BP and energy companies have made the highest profits off the back of us. You're seeing this every day. You're seeing it in the paper. You're seeing it in the news. You're seeing it on social media, whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you go on, it's in front of your face. Whether you walk into work or you go for a haircut, you open the paper, or you walk into work and the paper's on, or you're working on a computer, or you're sitting on your phone during your break. It's there.
Yeah.
And that's a massive stress on people, that they're sitting thinking, fucking hell, I'm only getting through day by day as we speak. Like, I'm struggling to put food on the table. Then they're saying it's going to cost another 200 quid to live each month. Then they're saying that diesel cars are going to go up in price, and then they have to put, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. It's just constant stress on people. And the thing is, male or female, not enough people talk to somebody and say, yeah, mate, I'm fucking skint. Like, I've got no money. I'm struggling. And this is when I say people are happy just cruising through life and doing going to work for $7.50 an hour. Nothing against these people if they don't come home and belittle other people. And anything you have to do to put a roof over your head and to fend for your family, I take my hat off to everybody. And as I say, I'm in a very fortunate position that I'm in. Yeah. And that's due to hard work. There's no such thing as luck. No. You don't winning the lottery's lucky, yes, things like that. But when it comes to like obviously Ian's in some of the biggest films that, and is that luck? No, is it fuck? It's hard work.
It's
not
him
fucking
working
luck, every single day to be the best what he can be, and to do the best that he can be. And
I tell you what, sorry to jump in. What people, and he's going to get a little bit funny now. What people don't realize is with Mr. Streets is that, he popped up kind of out of nowhere, where it looks like he's got Mortal Kombat, then he's got this film and this film and this film and this film. People don't know the years and years and years. Like, I mean, I have known him 7 and a bit years. Of those 7 years, he's doing shoots, he's doing videos, he's constantly doing choreography. He has been working on his craft whilst having a full-time profession for that to happen. And yes, the amount of work that he did got him to the dance. You can't fake it when you're there. And the reason that he's getting this film and this film and this film and this film is because he's worked his fucking nuts off and he's earned it.
Exactly. It's the same as obviously with you and with Martin and stuff. You have had to work your way up to be where you are. Do you know what I mean? You probably
slept my way to the middle, bruv. I slept my way there.
You probably started getting 10, 20, 30 views, and you look at them and you think, what's a fucking point? I'm getting 30 views and 2 negative comments a day. And then, with perseverance becomes, you've got to take, but it's amazing because I've got a tattoo on us and it says we'll fall over so we can learn to pick ourselves up. And for me that's a perfect quote, because everybody has to trip up in life. Nobody gets, unless you're born into the royal family or you're born into a rich family, nobody gets fed a silver spoon. And you've got to work hard to get to where you want to be. You've got to. And there's no, and everybody's going to hit. Everybody's going to hit ups and downs and mountains. And this man to me right of his everything he does. I'm not going to get into it. That's down to him. But everything he does, his YouTube channel and stuff, is for charity. And what as I say, I won't get into it. But what Martin does outside of stuff. And these are, these are the fighters, and these are the true warriors and stuff. Not me. I get paid to be in there, but these people who go out of the way to look to build me up, and I'll forever be grateful and appreciative of every single person, like podcasts like yourselves and Sporting Icons, because I know that, this is, yous are putting your time in as well as me putting my time in. But as I say, there's a lot more people out there that are fighters and warriors and heroes than what I am. And as I say, what I see, what Martin does day to day, and yourself and Ian and stuff, and as I say, I'm in a very fortunate position where I get paid to do what I do, and I love to do it, and that's what inspires me to keep pushing forward.
I mean, that's a pretty good point there. From like, for you, Martin, I discovered Steve through the intros from videos before your first pro fight, I think. This is the old name, Steve Robinson, pow pow, and then it would go into the Sporting Icons videos. So like, yeah, with the old nipples, the old stinger. Easy. So like, from your perspective, because we are, what would you say we are, Streets fledgling in the YouTube world? We did a lot better on audio. Then we started to do shorts, and everything went up, and the followers come up. But YouTube is one of the hardest platforms to grow on, and you've done it. You've done well with it. Your videos are, they're really informative, and you can get them out super quickly. If not, the production value is like, it's pictures with you talking, which is, it works, and it's an easy watch, and it's quality, and it's no accident that you've come to where you are now. So like, was it just a proper uphill struggle, or was there a couple of things that really pushed you over?
No, the first couple of months, my whole aim was to get 1,000 subscribers. That's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
But within 6 months, I get a message from like a Dillian White. If you want to interview someone, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy your point of views, your controversial point of views and things like that. So we did an interview, and from there, it went up. And I think, coincidentally, I came along at the right time. Anthony Joshua had just beaten Klitschko. So things boomed like from then. So I never really found the struggle to get the views, to get the subscribers, all that kind of stuff. I never did. But yeah, I mean, it's hard work. It is hard work. And I do have days where I think I'm going to close this fucking shit down. Because I don't want to do it anymore. But you guys are talking about internet trolls. I mean, one of the reasons why I do boxing YouTube is because I'm one of the biggest trolls out there. I am.
Right.
And the comment section can't contain me. That's why I do the way to, like, the things that I do.
Yeah, but you don't make a fake profile. You don't belittle people to the point where you get personal. Your profile is your profile. You message them off the back of, this is who I am. And you say it how it is, and you respond to people's solid view. Do you know what I mean? When we're talking about trolls, I'm talking about this person who makes a false account, has 13, following 13 people. And
I've never stepped into somebody's DMs and belittled them. I've never done
that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You would never do that. You're yourself. You message off the back of your own platform, and you definitely. I wouldn't say a troll. I have to say,
no, I'm definitely
controversial.
No, I mean, you like your videos. You let out your opinion, right? And it's an unwavering, unfiltered opinion. If Eddie Hearn has done something that we all go, that was a bit fucking filth, you're quite open in saying that, and it is what it is. If someone drops the ball, if someone, I mean, who did we have a little while ago that they just was like, I won every, like Tiafimo or one of these other ones, they get battered and they're like, I won every single round. I don't know what you're talking about. Like that, you would be one of the videos that you look at and you're like, right, I'm not mental. That geezer did lose every single fucking round, and then like yours will kind of solidify it. And I don't know if you, me, and Streets and Big Steve are just trolling, but
No, you need that. Like, you need a Teddy Atlas, and you say, like, that's not trolling at all. That's just fucking saying it how it is, which is increasingly rare these days. Like, there's so many fucking eggshells to walk on and things like that. It's like the trolling that I think we're all talking is a very different thing. It's people that have never fucking have any inkling of what it's like at all, just chatting shit for the sake of the feedback of someone saying you're a cunt, and they're like, yeah, fucking, and then they get, you know, that's not the sole reason. You know, you have a purpose.
Do you know your videos in that you post up of doing pirate stuff? Do you ever get people messaging or commenting saying that shit, that they look stupid, or do you get people like that, or what? Like, what trouble do you get?
Yeah, for sure. Like you'll get them. Like to be honest, like not like massive. I think just because I don't know, like relative, I would expect to get more, and this is probably going to be a beckoning to get more, but like you definitely get it. Like I just expect with the amount of shit you see around that you get more, especially too, because it's that borderline. A lot of it is choreography and so I was thinking to get a lot of the like hard heads being like, oh, that's fucking this and that. And you know, you get it every now and then, but I genuinely thought I would get more, but I have a pretty like low filter. Like I usually expect to get that shit just because it's so fucking rampant. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, for sure, get it on. Like all things, people. I've had this guy very recently on one of my Mortal Kombat videos, just like laughed on it. So I just put like a question mark, like, because I'm like, at least try, like something. Yeah. And then went on all my videos and like liked him, but then like was trying to challenge me out and saying he needs a few years and then he'll fight me in the ring and all this. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, what, you know, and that's just literally from the other day. So you get all sorts of fucking levels of madness.
Is that where you've just been now filming Mortal Kombat?
No, that was a while back.
Yeah.
Hopefully
you're on downtime at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, the next one will be out in Hawaii. So
I thought you just come back. I thought you had just been to Hawaii.
How was it? I had never been.
No. He's just come back from Central America. Done a little bit. Done a liquor drug run in.
You said you was in Hawaii. No. I was in Guatemala. The missus is Guatemalan, so we just went out and visited the fam.
Did you bring some cocaine back with you?
Guys, he didn't even bring me back a set of fucking pan pipes.
That's an off-air discussion.
You know what I mean? All I wanted was to like harmonic frequencies and stuff with the pan pipes.
I love it. And I literally saw them nowhere. I'm like, am I going to seem fucking racist if I ask if you guys have pan pipes?
Not with a Guatemala missus.
Yeah.
You'd be all right. Just send her in. But no, like, you know, like,
when she doesn't know the word for it, you know it's bad.
I would actually imagine that Martin gets more than you, Steve. Abuse-wise. Abuse.
Oh. Sexually abused because he's handsome.
Sexually abused 100% because of that. I've been thinking, will he take his shirt off because I've been waiting?
Anyway, 2 seconds. Martin's got something to say to you quickly.
Yeah, my little boy, to come over here, I actually just left him playing Mortal Kombat 11. And he absolutely loves Mortal Kombat, by the way. And his favorite character is Scorpion, but we got a husky puppy 6 months ago. And he actually named it Raiden.
No shit.
Yeah, really. Loves Mortal Kombat. Loves it.
So you've got anything Mortal Kombat that you've got for sale, I'll buy it for little Zach.
I'm sure we can sort something out, and it's
take everything.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got a couple of bits we can sort from somewhere. But no, yeah, like this is it. Like, so you know, for Streets is becoming much more high profile. You know, potentially friends with a couple of.
Ian can fuck off. He still hasn't introduced us to me dad. He's a shit. How can he promise me?
That's true.
Listen, I'll troll you.
That's true.
I couldn't care how many roly-polies you
That was literally
roly-polies.
The day of the first interview was when he was on set, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were doing Aquaman.
Yeah.
So you promised. You said, "Oh, listen, I'll speak to your dad for you. Use your fucking CSA. I'll get it sorted." Blah blah blah. And I'm still.
I wish I had that much pull. He'd be like, "Who the fuck are you? Get back."
There was one where we had to cancel a pod, not with Steve, because you were with Dolph, and I text him afterwards. I'm like, he's had to fucking bail on on it tonight because he's with your dad. You know what I mean? Power. But no, like from your point, Martin, like what do you want to do with the channel? Is it just to continue? Because like I've seen so many of like, I'll name a few names, like the boxing socials. Obviously, IFL are the big boys, right? Then you got like the tier below, which is like the boxing socials, and you got like Into and a million of them. You know, we don't really fall in that realm where we got the microphones putting it out on people. It'd be cool to do, but like, Streets, do you have the energy to do that really?
Me,
I mean,
I
if
would just be staring there blankly, like.
yeah, exactly. Like you'd have the opportunity and stuff like that. But like from you with your channel, you're in that position. Like, what's the plans? Are you going to try and build it out, or are you going to carry on and doing what you're doing because you love it?
Well, I always said that I'll never ever do interviews. I always said that.
Yeah.
Other than like the doing or whatever. But when I moved back to the northeast up here, I realised that there were so many boxers up here, good talent like Stephen that people didn't know about. But the people down south, they know about Isaac Chamberlain. They know about all like Ted Cheeseman or whatever else. They don't know about Lewis Richardson. They don't know about Josh Kelly and things like that until they're actually on Sky Sports. So I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to get around as many different gyms as I possibly can and interview all these guys and girls. And thankfully, there is, again, it's coincidence. I've actually come along probably at the right time because there's a Northeast boom.
Yeah, there really is.
With like Steve and Lewis and Pat McCormack, of course, winning the Olympic. But going forward, listen, I did think about going around doing all the interviews. I thought about doing that. Then I looked at like a boxing social, bunch of fuckwits. To be honest, they are. I don't particularly like them. They're not.
Shout out, Jake.
Troll, fucking troll.
It's beef in it. That's obviously the clip of the YouTube.
Yeah.
Sporting icon wants it with fucking boxing social.
Boxing social. Oh, they're the fucking guys who I think interviewed you at St James Park. Never walked past and I went like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyway, now, listen, I'm sure that they're okay. Now that Cabot guy left, or whatever, they're kind of like one of these platforms who came in from people already in the business. So they already had a fund. So like people like me and you, we didn't have fund clubs, did we? I knew literally nobody when I first started. But I thought about doing the interviews. I thought about, actually, I'm still thinking about getting some people who live down south, who live, I don't know, in like a different parts of the country and that to go do interviews and that for me. Because I can't do it because of my son. But I don't think I'll ever really change, to be honest. I can't see myself, as long as I'm doing it, I think I'll always be controversial. I think I'll always burn bridges. I'll always be. But again, I mean, it does go against me at times if I want to do interviews, because obviously I say certain things, and as soon as I put it out there, I forget I've said it. But when I meet these people, it has been put on me before. like a Richard React before, he pulled me up once before on something, although he actually thanked me for it, to be honest. He did.
Oh, right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's easy what I do, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, seeing a headline and a quote in an article, I can just chat about it for 10 minutes. I never have notes. I never make notes or anything like that. And I just put it up and it's done. And then it's forgotten.
But at the same time, there's so many out there. It's a massive credit to make it. Do you know what I mean? So it is.
This is why when Steve said,
it's easy. Like it's not, but like people clearly enjoy it. There's the market for it. It's fucking awesome.
Well, they like when I lose my rag. They like when I do that. That's for the most part. I mean, Paul Wilder, Deontay Wilder, he got the brunt of it for quite a long time.
He did.
I've kind of switched my focus a little bit to Tyson a little bit lately. When Tyson does actually properly retire rather than fake retire, I have to move on to someone else. But
I'll just message you and ask if you're all right, if you want to cuddle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, I think you're a lot bigger. You don't have to ask him. You just got to take it.
The second I retire, I'm going to be one of these fucking kids that's living in my camper van, taking mushrooms every day, hallucinating, just like DMT, just licking poisonous frogs in Peru. I'm just going to be the happiest, like person in the world. I'm going to have dreadlocks, the whack. Like, I'm just, when I retire, I'm buying a camper van and I'm going to Peru to lick some frogs. 100%.
Just chasing the
That's
feathered
the fucking
serpent.
life.
I love that.
Just pupils like dishes.
I won't ever turn vegan. I won't ever turn vegan, but I'll just offer free hugs and live in my camper van and lick frogs daily and just enjoy life, because that's you know.
What level of hygiene do you anticipate that you'll be observing?
You know, depends on how long I live for.
Yeah.
In the local swamp earlier.
Yeah, I know. I saw. He sent me the video. Literally, that's how you get that's how you get all manner of naughty stuff. Like
yeah, but at the same time, that's how you become hard as nails. Like, you know, you see these families, you see these kids now that like stop the kids going on climbing frames. I'm standing behind them like, and it's to walk up the stairs. But it's different with Zach. It's different with Zach. Or they're on the monkey bars and the dad's following them, waiting to catch them. Or listen, kids have to fall over. Kids have to eat soil. Kids have to eat worms to build up an immunity. Which is why this government flu, COVID, you know, when they told the kids they have to wear masks, and when they told the kids that they can't go to school, and when they told the kids they can't do this. So basically, they're fucking the kids' immunities. The kids aren't allowed to be around other kids. The kids aren't allowed to get colds, flus, and you know, all these things that you have to get when you're a kid, whether it be mumps, whether it be measles, to build up this immunity away from that. You know, what they'll do is they'll take all that away from you. So when your 7-year-old becomes 12, he's going to be, you know, probably anemic. He's probably going to be B12 deficient, D3 deficient, vitamin C deficient, because your immune system is shot to shit. For me, I think kids, this is why council estate kids and your kids from the likes of Liverpool and Glasgow and I'm not just saying it because I'm from there, but Newcastle and stuff where it's money stricken. You know, we would have never ever like if we seen a lollipop on the floor, we would have picked it up and ate it as a kid. You know, it's just what you do, but. Now there's too much like, oh, you can't go and play there. And I've just so today I was down the Durham where in the 6 weeks holidays we went out at 9 o'clock at night with a 50 pence piece and we'll come back at 9 o'clock at night. And your mum didn't care where you were safe because we're 30 or 40 of you. We've just done a river walk today, which we're done every day in the 6 week holidays. It's 5 mile upstream in this little reservoir. We didn't see one kid. Didn't see one kid on a tree swing. We didn't see one kid playing sticky picky. We didn't want to see one kid swimming in the reservoir. We didn't see one kid playing in the park. And I just thought, this is just crazy. Like,
the thing is, though, I've got.
No wonder you're hard, but I wouldn't
that's what I'm saying. Like, I've got a 5 and a 7-year-old. Right, my 7-year-old is 8 in a few months, and at 8, I was taking myself to school. I can't imagine her doing that because it just seems too risky now.
You can't. Of course it does. Of course it does.
It's just mad, isn't it?
In the Madeleine McCann thing, I think. But before Madeleine McCann, you're forgetting we had the likes of Huntley and Hindley and stuff. But it wasn't like world news, and it wasn't like. And then Madeleine McCann come along and just, I think, changed the mindset of so many parents. Like so many parents to the point where it just become like. But and then the likes of iPads, PlayStation 4s, Nintendo Switches, iPhones when they're 9-year-old, all that come along and changed.
Yeah, outside doesn't exist anymore for so many kids.
No, so it makes being a parent easier to keep your kids in, because when I was grounded, it was like
it was death, wasn't it?
It was the worst thing. It was the worst thing in the world.
It was so shit.
When my mum grounds us, I'm like, sound, mum. I'll just go upstairs, watch Sky, and play with my iPad and troll some dickheads online and tell them the shit off there. Like,
I love that.
I couldn't care about being grounded now. Like, to me, it's great. But like, back then, if I got grounded, it was like, What am I going to do? Play Prapper the Rapper on the PlayStation 1? There's only so much you can play Prapper the Rapper.
Punch,
and
kick,
get
it's
going.
all in the mind. That was so
that is
big,
a
wasn't it?
throwback. Come on. Now.
Punch, kick, it's all in the mind. Oh, geez, that was huge. I want to ask you, Martin / Sporting Icons. I want your opinion on Ben Eubank, because for me, it would be rude not to get a little bit of a quote unquote hot take from the Mandem and our social media guy. I was going to call him something else then, but I'm not going to call that. He would probably be quite pissed if we don't. So, I thought he was going to expose himself for a second. And if I'm not going to lie, I thought there was a big risk of that.
Thought / hoped.
Yeah. Easy. But yeah, Ben Eubank, what do you think? Is it fun? Is it a piss take? Is it a cash grab? Is it completely pointless? Is it DAZN trying to actually warrant themselves?
All of the above.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, all of that, all of it. Let's be honest. Connor and Chris, they don't have any rivalry. They have none. As far as I'm aware, on recent interviews and whatever else, or past interviews, they actually get on quite well.
Yeah,
You've got the two dads. They're currently on tour.
Yeah.
Doing talk shows and that together. They're not that. So clearly that rivalry is dead and gone. Yeah, it's a cash grab. Of course it is. Fair play to them. I would do it. You would do it. Why not?
Fact.
For the amount of money that they're going to get. As far as DAZN putting it on pay-per-view, well, they lied to us, didn't they? Let's be honest. Yep. They lied. DAZN game changed, hashtag Eddie, was moving away from the pay-per-view model, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. Now you've got this KSI versus Tosspot. I don't know. Fucking
Swarms?
Something like
Streets,
that.
you're down with the kids. Come on, bruv.
Nah, like literally it came up when I was with the kids. I'm like, who the fuck is this? They're like, he's some rapper. And they didn't even know who was fighting him. I was just like, ugh. Yeah, pay-per-view. Pay-per-fucking-view.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I cancelled my DAZN yesterday.
Yeah. Did you?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I cancelled just on principle. And listen, I know that £8 a month is not a lot of money. I know that. But the pay-per-view, I don't know how much it is, what, tenner? It's more principle than that.
There'll be four,
it was like £2 or whatever when it started, right? Then they
$1.99.
Fair enough. That was always going to happen. But then you're going to start, if you're putting pay-per-views, okay, let's put game-changing cards, perhaps. But when you're coming out the gate with this shit, it's like that literally you're like demonetizing your own platform, because it's like, we're going to put shit fights on, maybe like some access from a international card that like no one knows. They'll put it on there. Anything else you're going to pay for. And it's like, well, then, like you said, that's not game change. That's the same thing.
Well, the initial promise was, the initial words about pay-per-view were, we may do pay-per-view on DAZN, but only if it's a mega fight like a Joshua vs. Fury. Anything else, it won't be. It'll be on your regular subscription, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And we're just coming through 1 year of DAZN in the UK. And already we've got 3 pay-per-views coming up for free.
There'll be 4 though, won't there? They're going to do KSI, they've got Triple G, they're going to do that, and then they'll do AJ in December against someone, Dillian.
Yeah.
Right? So, but what if they're banging cards? Like KSI will forget about that one. Like the Triple G card is never going to be that great because the main event is the main event. But like if the Conor Benn and Junior card is actually a banging card, it's not that sore. If they do mega cards with them, I warrant it a little bit more. But the way they've been doing pay-per-views, like the AJ Usyk 2 card is dog shit. It is absolute dog shit. Like, who cares?
We know why it is. Saudis chose the whole card.
Of course they did. But I mean, that's their right to. But then there's still got to be a little bit of sway on behalf of you've got the big fight, but you're charging 27 quid. It's the most expensive pay-per-view we've ever had here. At least have something worth watching other than the main event. We're at fucking bare knuckle that night. I'm not even that bothered about watching it live.
Are you bare knuckle down in London, are you?
Yeah, BKFC. Our boy Tyler's fighting on it.
Pals fight, I was meant to be there. I spar with a heavyweight. That's Mickey Terrell. He's fighting on it.
He's fighting Shoemaker.
Aye.
That's going to be a fucking good fight then.
Mickey's one. I sparred Michael for the full camp. For the Shoemaker fight, so
Why are you not coming?
I was meant to be going down, but I'm in Portugal.
Come on. What a waste.
Sorry.
What a waste.
Sorry.
Plus,
I don't. Hey, it's gonna be hard to travel down to London for bed. It's not my
yeah.
But you're going back on the KSI and the Jake Paul thing and stuff, and this is the type of day that we're living. Like I've just been saying earlier, kids aren't kids anymore. Kids aren't. You don't see kids in the park, and you don't see kids in reservoirs, and you don't see kids on the train tracks like the Stand By Me films and the films of the 80s. You watch what kids done and what have you. But now they just sit on TikTok, they sit on social media, they sit on YouTube. So all these TikTokers and YouTubers and stuff, they bring in new people to the sport. So, it's doing us no harm because you're getting kids who would have never watched boxing 10 years ago watching boxing off the back of that, because this is the influence that they have. This is the influence that KSI has had on the world, that he's able to be broadcast, and there'll be people paying for it. There'll be people watching it. There'll be millions of people watching it, guaranteed.
My only concern when they did that was like, that's in the ideal world what I hoped. Yeah. And it's just like when you got Billy Joe on your fucking undercard, and like Haney was on the undercard as well, and it's stuff rude. Like that. And then, it's rude. And B, then you're like, are they going to stay? Or if like Jake Paul decides tomorrow, I'm going to play fucking tennis, do they all just got like, are they in it for the sport or are they in it for, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a piss take. Because it's like, if they stay, it's fucking amazing. And like, for example, Jake, if he does the stuff that he's saying, where he's getting Serrano more money and he genuinely is interested in fighter pay, I'll put up with his shit if everyone benefits from it. Like, fucking more power. But if it's going to be another, like, give me the cash and I'll build myself up and then fuck off to the next thing, like, don't take the piss out of the sport then. Do you know, like a top 10 ranking, really? Like, he beats Rahman if that fight happened, and that's a top 10 ranking. Come on.
But that's the WBA, that's an American rank, and they'll rank anyone. WBC. So WBC. But I mean, but to even be up there on the what was it, his fourth fight?
Fourth, fifth, something like that, yeah.
Absolutely. But as I say, this is the power of the likes of TikTok and YouTube, and what that you've got that little Chinese kid now who's the first teenage billionaire, and all he does is opens toys and tells kids, buy this toy. People sit and watch these YouTube videos of this. I think there's a Russian girl as well, who and they're sitting and watch them for hours, and they're just sitting, opening toys and talking and playing Minecraft and talking about it. And these kids are. If somebody showed me somebody playing Minecraft when I was 15, I would have told them to piss off and be like, "Are you for real? Like, I'm going to the youth club to play football and finger a bird." Like, but now it's just like.
Do you remember? Right? Do you remember going around to like your older cousins, if you have them, and like they were giving it massive on PlayStation or Mega Drive or whatever, and they just sunned you off and said, "No, you can wait your turn."
Yeah, I was about to say that was bad enough, just having to watch someone else's turn.
Exactly, you wasn't hyped watching them. You were sitting there thinking, "I'm going to fucking choke you with that cable if you don't give me a go soon." I don't care that you're bigger. You're fucking copping it. You know what I mean? But like we've seen it ourselves with the influencers, right? And it's a bit different with someone like a Romola Ali, right? We was at the Del Boy card in the Romola Ali section, packed out. It must have been a third of the crowd was all there for Romola. The second she finished, they all went, and then Matchroom had to go back out to. They were bringing all manner of people in. Anyone out of the O2, anyone outside the O2 on the peninsula. They were like, "Do you want to go and watch boxing?" They're like, "Yeah, why not? It seems a pretty cool night tonight." And in that, you had all of these like pissed up like chino wearers in there, and it was just like, what are you lot doing, right? They
even the Ramla Ali, but like there was because there was the
they didn't know what was going on. Yeah, they didn't know what was going on. But then like this weekend, the Johnny Fisher one. Johnny Fisher was third from the bill. He sold 900 seats in a 4,000 person stadium. they all fucking went. The crowd was audibly quieter the second Johnny was done. I don't know how much it benefits, like having these big influencers, because then all you get is like the Sky shit now, where you got Florian headlining a bill when he shouldn't be headlining a bill. He's a great fighter, he's super fun, all this other stuff, but like you got a title on the line. Why is Florian top of the bill? It makes
that's in Albania, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. I mean, like in general, we've been at like a British title fight was third on the bill on the card that we was at with Florian as the headline against some guy.
Oh well, even Cardiff, there was a British title fight that was second or third on. Remember who was it? We got moved to David. Oh, right. Nah, man, it was.
It's just like title. I mean, I know it's fucking like old, but I'm fucking old, so I just feel like it's the sport that demands so much respect. Like what you guys go through. It's such a piss. Some of these fight cards as well, like the amount of times we're at a card where like, this is so fucking disrespectful just because someone has this following and then they're here. Like, look, love the Hattons and stuff like that. But we were always saying like, Campbell, it does him a disservice putting him so prominent on a card. Like, let him have some fights. Mark Castro in the States, put him on Canelo as the co-main. It's like, fucking hell, it's a debut. Like there's time. Like, people want to capitalize on the cash so early and they push it. And it's like, it's for the detriment in the end. Like, that's why you see the people, oh, he got exposed. It's like, no, he just got rushed along. And then when it was finally time to step the fuck up, he got put out because it wasn't ready, you know? There's time.
You see that in all sports though, don't you? You see it in everything. You see it in great films. Obviously, you know, Serena and Venus Williams, and they wanted to push her, and they wanted that a year earlier and she's still now the youngest ever person to compete in Wimbledon, but they wanted that a year earlier just because she was black and because she was the first thing. They wanted to push her for the whole like, oh, let's make this happen. It'll look great for the sport, and you see it in football. You see these kids up and coming. They rush them forward. And, you know, there used to be a player called Francis Jeffers who they tipped to be the next big thing. And you had Saviola who was playing alongside Messi, and they tipped these people to be the next big thing. And, you know, they hide them on FIFA and the 85 card rate. And then the next thing, they disappeared and they played. You don't know who they're playing for, and they've gone off the face of the earth. It's like every sport. It's an unfortunate thing that. He was never tipped to be, but he was always tipped, wasn't he, to be with Messi, and he was at Barcelona, and then he just sort of dropped off. And as I say, it's like boxing. You people don't realise the weight and the pressure that they're putting on your shoulders, and now it's even 10 times worse with social media. Social media, I'm telling you now, social media was invented by the devil, 100%. It is the worst thing in the world. It's unbelievable for used in the right way, but at the same time, for pressure and for stress and for suicide, for mental health, it is the worst thing, because as a female, you're constantly looking at the likes of Kim Kardashian and these people who will get Botox, who've got money to go and get BBL, and you constantly want to look like them, be like them, act like them. And you always want to better yourself because other people are doing better than you. And that's when you become envious, and that's when you become, you become hurt that you can't be them. And that's when you become bitter and you turn. And there's too many people who live a fake life on social media.
But I also think, like, for example, I think, like, say it's coming down to learning whatever the fuck you want to learn, like you want to fix a bulb or whatever, like YouTube, for example, you can learn anything now. So there's so many productive ways, but there's something in people, they inherently like the like looking at other people, look at people like yourself grinding and be like, I want to fucking do that. Don't be like, look at some fuckwit in a fucking car and be like, oh, I'm sad I don't have, it's like also too, like, I feel like people can also use it as a good, it's just a shame so many people, they take the easy way, like at the end of the day.
Of course you do, but you will have seen it in your line of work, Ian, where, you probably had so many things where you failed on, you've probably been promised a film that hasn't then come through because somebody else is getting your job. And or you've been told this, and you know you'll have hit so many bumps in the road, or you've been told
and you need them,
enough,
right?
you're not tall enough, you're not big enough, and all these bumps put you where you are now and make you the character you are now, and you push. When there's a bump in the road, when you're put back, all it does is pushes you forward. You know, you're knocked 10 steps back, puts you 20 steps forward. And as Martin was saying earlier, he'll never stop, because the more criticism he gets, the more he wants to put things out there. And it's the same as with me, and it's the same as with, you know, it's like anything in life. As a character, you've either got it where you think, fuck you, I'll prove you wrong, or you go, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe that stuntman is better than me. Maybe I shouldn't be a stuntman. Maybe I should just cruise at life and go and work, you know, in a 9 to 5 and be comfortable. But you haven't. You've pushed. You've kept pushing, and you've kept driving, and you've took the criticism, and you've took the knockbacks and the setbacks, and you've become the person you are now. And that's the same as with anybody who's achieving more than what they ever thought they'd achieve in life. You take your hat off to them, because they've took setbacks, they've took knockbacks, they've been told they wouldn't ever do anything in life, whether that be from a teacher, whether it be from your pals. It's always your pals who tell you can't do something because they don't want you to do something.
Yeah.
They want you to sit in the pub with them, sniffing a bag of coke on a weekend and drinking with them. So when you say, no, I can't come because I've got an interview next week for this, you know, this low budget film, do you think they're ready to put you down before you've even said anything? They're putting you down because they want you to sit in the pub with them. And the minute you stop being in the pub, the minute you stop being pals with them, the minute you stop going out every weekend and, you know, buying them drinks and taking the drugs and going to supplying a house for the after party, that's when you find your true pals who are there when you're doing good things and messaging you saying, yeah, mate, I'm fucking proud of what you've done. Like, I'm so proud of you. They're not there. They're there for you when you're offering something for them, when you're a pal for them, when you're ready to go to the pub on a Friday or a Saturday and sit with them until Sunday morning.
And that's when they'll have the nerve to say you changed. When you're doing something constructively, like they'll be like, "Oh, you changed."
Yep, exactly. And you know, it's again. It goes back to, it's just an unfortunate. Like for me, I've never touched a drug, and I say that to people, and they'll go, "Fuck off! You've never." They're shocked that I've never touched a drug, and it's like, really, you've never. You do, and it's like that's the time we're living. And like I say, when I retire, I'm going to be licking frogs and doing all sorts. But that's for 10 years time. But it's just it's an era we're living where people want to put other people down, and social media makes people want to be people that they're never going to be, and that they can't be them, so they put other people down. And it's a funny old time.
Because those people aren't even those people. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's why everyone's living in this pretend world. It's like, just chill out. We're lucky because we knew the world before all this shit. So the second we put our phone down, it doesn't exist. But I always say I feel for the kids now, because this is their life. And that's where you get these people, like these influencers. They're like, oh yeah. And they're dominating in this as well and that. And it's like, this blurring needs to stop. You know, reality needs to come back to the world at some point. I'm praying for it.
Martin, when you get 100,000 subs, do you consider yourself an influencer? Because I think that's a very big question.
Need to start cracking skulls, bro. Go in these fucking YouTube fight nights. And
he's southpaw as well. He's a fucking
100,000. To get 200,000, I don't think it'd be too difficult, to be honest. But it's maintaining it. That's what you got to do. It's one thing to get there. It's maintaining that kind of shit. But to be an influencer, no, not at all. Not at all. It's like some people that look at my channel and say, "Oh, you've got like a big YouTube channel." No, I haven't. It's not a big YouTube channel at all. It's a small YouTube channel. And I've just noticed that you only got 4 toes. Oh, okay.
So he's only got 4 toes?
I wear flip-flops and me little toes hanging and me flip-flop.
Oh, right, okay, fine. Fine. I was about to say that explains an awful lot if you was born with 4 toes.
Explains me shit footwear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what we're talking about. Yeah, it's the same as with me with social media. All I need to do is send in a passport photo and my driving license and a utility bill to get the blue tick. I couldn't give a shit about the blue. I don't want the blue tick.
Send it to who?
In 2018, when I boxed for GB, they said you have to have social media. You go back to my first post. It'll be in 2018. It'll be in me and me England boxing kit. They made me get social media. I never had Facebook. I never had Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, Bebo, any of them things.
Bebo, you know.
In years, like, I never had any of. I had MSN. I got my cock out a few times on webcam to a few random blokes, probably that tell us they were 15-year-old women. But I was 15 at the time, so I'm not a nonce by the way.
But listen, I would say that you're a survivor, if anything.
Let's not there's probably absolutely loads of 70-year-old blokes seeing me cock on webcam when I was 15. Well, that's fine. That's part of the parcel. But like all jokes aside, this whole thing, this whole like blue ticking, that doesn't it's not going to change me. I'm not going to. All it'll do is stop me by being who I am. Stop me from saying something if I want to say it on social media. And what does it mean for me? Well, great, I get a blue tick. I may get 1 or 2 more sponsors. But do you know what will come? Loads of things where, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you share me? I just much rather be me. My Instagram is just stupid things. Like, very rarely will you see me posting me sponsors, posting this, posting that. I don't know, thanking people for because that's not me. But I tell you what is me, doing a Disney quiz on a Sunday while I'm riding my bike. That's me. Yep. Like being stupid in the ring, getting me arse out and sparring with me arse out, just me groin guard. That's me. That's who I am. And having a blue tick or not having a blue tick, having 20 followers, having 20,000 followers, it doesn't stop me being me. It doesn't make me any less or better of a person. If anything, the more followers, just that's why I turned my comments off, because it just upsets me mum and dad. Like, I couldn't give a shit about the negativity, but you know, me little mum, she's 55-year-old, she's responding to these people like, I'll find you and I'll hit you with my umbrella, like, and I'm man, stop responding to them. And she's
just
like,
emojis only.
She's just bless her. She's just and she sitting, she gets upset and Martin will have a video on, she'll go, hey Stephen, such and such 1999 said that you're shit at boxing. And I'm like, so what, man? Like, great. Like, Alfred 99 can think what he wants. I couldn't give a shit about him, but like, obviously, as I say, it's like social media and all this has just took over people's lives, and everybody wants to be someone they're not. And no.
Oh, loads of them.
Do you get
really good as well? Really good.
What's that?
I'm thinking, it's actually big, all right.
Like people pretending that they're you. So they make a false profile pretending that they're you.
No, I haven't, but I see a lot of people get that. It always comes up in it. Can you report this and da da da?
Right. So what they'll pretend they're commenting on the back of you.
Yeah. I've had like a loads of messages and things like that from fighters saying, "Why do you say this about me?" For I haven't said anything about you. Other people.
Rude.
One of them. Sonny Edwards was getting into an argument with somebody who he thought was me.
Wow. And Sonny's not chill with it either. He'll go back and forth.
His mum and everything else.
That's just
that's dark and pointless.
It's a person who's lonely and lost and you know who just needs. It's the same as when a person takes a selfie and sits and poses and I want to message them and say, "Are you okay?" Right? Because they're doing that for a reason. They're doing that because they feel ugly, they feel self-conscious, feel something, and they need to put that, so social media picks them up. And if they don't get 200 likes, that photo's gone, or however many likes they want. And I genuinely, when someone does that, I want to message them and say, "Are you all right? Is everything all right?" Like you know, because
it's the swipe for me. You know how you can add like multiple pictures when it's the same selfie, just different. Like that's a mental issue. Like, why the fuck does the world need 10 photos of your head in slightly different positions and your whole feed is that? Like, what contribution is that? Like, sometimes you got to sit back and just go, does this really need to be fucking out there 10 times?
They've got like cute written on the head because they've took it on Snapchat, or the dog he has in the fucking tongue out of the story.
You talking about Tyson Fury?
Yeah, why does he do that like eye and skin filter when he does his? It's weird, isn't it?
What's he do?
When he does his videos, not even. Yeah, he does a filter that like makes his skin look like mine, obviously flawless, and then his eyes like they go blue, and it's just like it's just weird. You just look at it and you go, "Mate, what's going on?"
YouTube do that as well. There's quite a few YouTubers who've got boxing do that as well. They'll do like a recording on Zoom or whatever it is that they use themselves, and you can see they've got a filter on it.
Oh, how rude!
What is that? I mean, these are like 50-odd-year-old men.
Oh, I love that. I need to find them. Can you
I'm
please message me what they are?
From now on.
Next time we do a call, I want all to be filtered with like
just turn it up to full. Yes. Right. On that note, I think we should kill that there because this is good. I enjoyed this thoroughly. Martin, you're an absolute G. Thank you for all of your work to the boxing world. Steve, you know I love you. You know that.
Snap.
Thank you so much, brother. So good.
Shout out, rival. Next fight, hopefully they'll get the proper ones.
And good luck in your next filler, and send me love to me dad, please. And
we'll do, brother.
Jokes aside, though, mate. Honestly, have a good time. When do you go?
So it looks like it's going to be the start of September now. So I've got a bit of time.
Lovely.
Nice.
And how long are you in Hawaii for?
It might be 6 months.
Wow.
Steve, do you fancy being co-host?
What film is that for?
It's going to be but it is Jason's TV show. It's about the invasion of Hawaii from an indigenous perspective. It sounds like fucking interesting. It's called Chief of War.
You could be Hawaiian for sure.
Is Amber Heard in it?
Amber Turd. Amber Turd is not in it. No, she's. I think she got cut out of Aquaman 2, didn't she?
She did. Yeah. Did she?
Oh dear.
I've had many little tugs to Amber Heard.
Fact. Who hasn't? She's powerful. 100% power. All right. On that note, thank you so much, lads.
Good night.
Thank you so much, boys.
Thank you very much.
Bye, mate.
Thank you.
Take care.